Did you know that tomorrow will make it 1 year since that Norfolk Southern train derailment disaster in East Palestine, Ohio? Toxic fumes, town poisoned. President Biden has not been there, and this has been a point of political contention. Now he says he will be there before the end of the month. Will he be there for the anniversary tomorrow? We don't know. We have been on this at NewsNation since day one. We went and visited in September. You remember, to have that town hall situation to kind of draw attention. Here is some of who and what we found. This train derailment in Ohio. You know, NewsNation was first on the scene there. Why did this happen? People have been told there all is well. All is well in Ohio. You're going to be all right. But not why. And tonight we have folks who tell you it's not true. And people are dumping stuff in the creeks and it's coming up all rainbow. But now the water's safe to drink. Why is it safe to drink?
Every day you wake up and there's just more questions than answers.
We are in East Palestine. It's been 3.5 months. It's gotten quiet, haven't it? But we haven't forgotten, because the residents haven't. They're still dealing with it, and they have new cause for concern.
No, the deeper you go, the less you settle.
Because we're used to digging deep, like the truth is beneath. You Google vinyl chloride, and you tell me if you would want a plume of it ignited where you live.
So I work for the federal Environmental Protection Agency.
Today, do you believe it's safe? And you have to stay here in this house with what's being discovered. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry for you to have to live this and be worried about everybody, and it seems like nobody's listening. I'm very sorry. This is about action. You know what I mean? Words aren't going to make you feel any better or anybody else in that community.
These residents in this community wouldn't have hope right now if it weren't for NewsNation.
What you've been told about the air that you and your kids and your grandkids are breathing and the water that you're using is safe. Who's still concerned? Yeah, you know why? Because things aren't getting better. That's why. Not for enough people, not in enough ways. Let's bring in NewsNation correspondent Rich McHugh, independent scientist Scott Smith, who's done a lot of the testing in the town because a lot of others aren't doing the testing, not to the satisfaction of the locals. And one of those locals, East Palestine resident Christy Hilton. You saw her when I was at her house in September. It's good to have each of you here. It's good to see you most of all. Christy, it's good to have you. Rich, what do we know about the state of play?
It's not good, Chris. If I had to put it bluntly, it's the federal response here 1 year in has been its own slow motion train wreck. People are sick, first of all. They have acute needs. There is no long-term health monitoring plan, which was promised time and time again to this community. There's no disaster declaration, which is sitting on President Biden's desk to sign, but he has not signed it. He has obviously not been here. The EPA has basically been taking a victory lap this past week, saying there's, tremendous work has been done at the site itself, and they're saying there's no visible sign of contamination in the air, in the water, in the soil. I went out yesterday. We've done this time and again in the past year. I went out yesterday with Dr. Rick Chai, just in town here in the creeks in the park, and you can see with your naked eye, like you stir up the sediment just in the creek in town, and you can see the chemicals. So there's massive distrust when people in town see this, and then they hear the EPA saying that. It's like they don't know who to trust, and they're fed up.
Well, I trust you, and I appreciate you doing the job, Rich, and so does that community, because, they're not getting enough attention. So, Scott Smith, I pivot to you, and they say, yeah, listen, yeah, Smith is doing his tests, but he's being real particular, okay? And there are a lot of chemicals that we're all exposed to with what we clean and what we eat and what we drink and in the environment. You can pick up lots of things. It doesn't mean that everyone's going to be, toxified. What do you think of that notion, and what have you seen over time in your samples?
Chris, first of all, thanks for having me, and you are a direct witness because you were with me for this testing. And let me tell you, and Christy Hilton specifically is very important to all of East Palestine, and here's why. She vacated that house and wasn't back. That completely defeats the narrative, chemicals in her house, her lifestyle, because that house was vacant. And the furnace filter, the soil, showed dramatic increases in contamination, about 325% in soil from when I tested it with NewsNation in May to when I tested it with you.
So they say to you, Scott, Listen, we're digging things up. It may be bad for a little bit because we're disrupting it, but it's all going to settle and we're remediating and it'll be better long term. Do you buy that?
At this time, no. I will buy it when the testing tells me that's the case, because there's something no one's talking about, the third event, the remediation that started after April 18th, after the EPA shut down a lot of their important testing. So that third event with potentially dioxin dust particles and a whole host of other issues.
So, Chrissy, for you, this has always been real simple. Where's home? And you guys have been out of the house. You have parents who have very sensitive needs, and you just don't know what your future holds or if you can ever go back there and feel safe. How are you guys holding up?
Actually, I'm still stuck in February 3rd because nothing has changed. I've met with Norfolk Southern, and I was hoping that they would tell me what they needed to, and what I was told was, what do you want done to your home? And I know what my air tester recommended after my test on Super Bowl Sunday.
Right.
It was from their contractor that my home, the home beside me, and the home at the creek was too far contaminated and that it needed to come down. I waited a year and they have yet to tell me. So when I told them, I've now been waiting 3 weeks for the documents, for them to show me the photographs that was taken in my basement of the water lines. So I'm safe until May, but I will not have an answer from Norfolk Southern regarding that until the 16th of February.
Well, let's see what we can do about that. Rich McHugh has a lot of resources. And Chrissy, I'm sorry you're still dealing with this. But our job is to get attention to it, and I promise you that we'll do that. Hopefully Biden coming will put pressure on there to be some action. All right, we're always a call away.
I hope we have a chance to talk to Biden.
I hope you do.
I hope it is not like it was with the FEMA ghost.
Well,
he needs the citizens that are having issues need to be able to talk to him. It needs to be done fairly, and we need to be heard.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.